as I've looked at my clients, as I said, I represent people in family cases. And so in part of what I do is I help them prepare their financial affidavits. And then, of course, in a divorce, you're dividing up assets. So I'm acutely aware of how my clients struggle to make ends meet. And I see the lack of support at the state level for the small business owners and for agriculture. I mean, this district we're very fortunate to have so many farmers here, whether in the form of vegetable community supported agriculture, or farms like March Farm that grow not only vegetables but have orchards, or in the dairy farms and various other animals. And almost all of them have somebody who has to work outside of the home in order to be able to do that farming. And so I'm concerned about agriculture and the future of agriculture in this area, and I'm concerned about the lack of resources available for small business owners and the inability of people to make ends meet. I mean, you think about, I know the states, we're moving towards that $10 an hour minimum wage, and you think about it, and someone works 40 hours a week at minimum wage, they're making $400 a week gross, that's $20,800 a year. Most of them probably can't afford to live in this district. They can't afford to live here, they can't afford to buy a home here, they can't afford to raise their families here. And so we need to begin to look at not just how to fix something at Sikorsky, but also how to make things accessible for the small business owners who are the drivers of the economy in the 66th district. And that's something I would like to see. I mean, when you think about how much money is being given to Sikorsky so that they stay here and grow that, I understand how very important that is for Stratford and Bridgeport. But I think if you took those same millions of dollars and made them available to small businesses here for small business loans and startups and for agricultural purposes, I think we would probably get this as much back for the state's economy. And we're just not doing that. And we need to begin to really grow those small business owners. The other piece of that is, in some ways, when we put our money into those big corporations, what we lose is we have a centralized source that we rely upon. It's like a big bank that's too big to fail. Sikorsky's too big to leave because we will lose all these jobs. But the thing is, if our economy is based upon the small businesses, then we support each other, we keep our money local, and if somebody fails, the state economy doesn't go crashing with it.
That's
And so I really feel that's very important. The other piece that ties into it that's also important to me is the environment, because we live in one of the most beautiful places, and the environment here provides for the quality of life, and it also drives the economy. And the example that I frequently use is Bantam Lake. It's the largest natural body of water in the state of Connecticut. And it has invasive plants, and this year we had the blue-green algae on it, which caused the closure of the beaches in Morris and Litchfield. The state doesn't contribute to it. Litchfield no longer contributes it, so it all sits on the backs of those taxpayers in Morris and White Memorial Foundation. When the lake was closed and the beaches were closed, local people who earn money by renting properties had rental cancellations. Houses, I'm sure, that sit on that lake that were for sale can't move, because who wants to buy a piece of property on a lake that you can't swim in? The ski show was closed, so there goes tourism, which is a large piece of the local economy and certainly is something we ought to be focusing on growing here. So the tourism goes, then what happens? You lose the restaurant businesses, the antiques, the small shops that drive the economy. So I think that we can't just say that money doesn't need to be focused on the economy, because the environment is the heart of the local economy.